Hello everyone. Welcome to the third session, the video session on the CAD and manufacturing lab. In the first two sessions, we covered extrude and revolve features of the Creo software. So we'll move on to the third. First, I thought of giving you some introduction of the importance of the features that we are going to see. The example I can start with is like, say, my colleague during my PhD, he was making a micro pump. So, micro pump is the size of your 10 rupee coin. So, water goes inside that and comes out of it with a, say, piezoelectric crystal acting as the energizing medium. So, he uses a nozzle of varying diameter to test how much of quantity comes out of it to control the flow and things like measure the flow and things like that. So for fabricating the nozzle, he had to say it has to be like varying diameter and say the length and say other geometrical features that you want to make. So many nozzles he wanted to make and connect it to the pump and read the flow characteristics. So he had to visit a goldsmith and make a mold and use the mold for say impinging. Say fill it with plastic and make a nozzle out of it. So for every different dimension, he has to make a different mold and fill it with plastic. So much of say physical task involved and charges involved. Say and otherwise he has to use a very small tool. Imagine the size of a 2 rupee coin. What would be the size of the nozzle that sits on it? So a 2 rupee say he has to make varying more nozzle dimensions. So he has to hold it in a smaller machine and then drill hole into the rod that he picks it out for varying dimensions. So it was a huge task that he has to undergo. For nearly 2 years, he took time for getting it done. So most of his PhD works time was spent on say fabricating the nozzles alone. These days it could be done in 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. Say on a software, you create the nozzle, get it printed in a say 3D printer. So end to end, it takes not more than 5 to 10 minutes, let us say, per nozzle. So that is the kind of advantage the software brings into an engineer's life, let us say. And I just want to say probe a little. Say this is a flask of varying diameter here, a shape which is like curving down and leads to the bottle cap. So what is the feature that we are going to use to build this kind of model? Say as cylindrical and conical at the top. Say, can I use extrude? No. It's better we use revolve as an option. Say, cut this, use this the feature and revolve it with a center line. So this is easy. We know that. Say, how about this? Say this is a toy bat which a child uses. So here is the handle, completely circular. Okay, this we know how to do it. How about this flat thing? Here it is flat, and on the top it is like a projected, say, convex shaped structure. How I'm going to do this? So I cannot use extrude, I cannot use revolve. So we have other features for that. So that is precisely is what we are going to see today. So this file is named as sweep and SweepSweptblend.part. So we'll get on with the video. So once the name is fixed, you just choose the plane Once plane is fixed, you can move and choose the sketch option. So you have multiple options in the sketch, and then sketch view is chosen for creating the plane. So I'm choosing a line, and what I'm going to do is like instead of choosing a line, I've chosen a spline. So what is a spline? Say I just give the dots, there will be a line automatically created, say passing through all the lines that I'm say placing on the plane. So you can see that I've placed points away from the plane also. It means here my plane extends beyond these boundaries also. So once the spline is created, uh, say you can get yourself relieved, the sketch is done. I can put the tick mark. So once the sketch is done, I am going to use the sweep option. So clicking the sweep option comes below the revolve option and besides the extrude feature. So the sweep, once you click it, uh, you get a thicker line of the spline, and I have a few options here. So you're going to create the sketch section on the spline on any one end. So here is the R mark. So I can create a section, and that section will be swept throughout the entire spline. So that is what we are going to choose this option for. So once this option is chosen, say what I'm going to do is, say I'm going to click the sketch view. So it is going to rotate the spline and align, project, give us the option of creating a section on the point on which is the end point of the spline. So that is being done here. I'm choosing a circle, placing it on the end point of the spline. So once that sketch is done, I can give the dimension also and click the OK button. So once that is done, say you get the spline, which is like expanded into the swept part, a complete swept part is obtained. So by choosing the option between this and this, for this I get a solid, here I get a shell, say an outer shell. The surface alone is swept. The inner part will be absent here. So you can create a pipeline of normal diameter, any defined diameter of any particular shape, also shape and size. So this option can also be utilized to create, say, a network of sewage pipeline, say, which is like lying under the ground. There'll be pipelines extending from the roads and other structure and leading to manholes. So such kind of connected pipelines and all you can create using this. Yeah, you can rotate and see what is their features and say how it gets evolved. So mm, yeah, so that brings us to the say I'll just remove this part and I'll demonstrate how to create a straight line pipe. Say it need not be of only a circular cross section. It can be of a rectangular cross section also. So what I'm trying to do is I'm creating a sketch and using some straight lines, combination of straight lines, and I'm going to add a section here at the end and sweep it through the entire given trajectory or the pathway. So what will happen here is, so once the sketch is done, press the tick button and move to the sweep options chosen. Like the last time, I'm going to choose this, and that is going to uh, help me create. I think this one got stuck. The video got stuck. So what I did is I chose a rectangle and I've drawn the rectangle at the end point of the lines that I've drawn. So this is the sketch view. So the entire pipe has expanded. So once you scroll it using the mouse, you can see the pipeline which is expanded, yeah, in a square pipeline. So this you can, where does the square pipeline come? Say for the chairs, the support structure, the desk and tables, and the frames that goes for wooden frame, having as a support structure for cupboards and say furnitures, and even sometimes the wall like structure can be built with these kind of frames, a square frame. So making the square frame is this easy using the sweep option. So once that is done, I put the tick mark for the sweep option also. So any changes that you want to make, as usual, go to the feature and you can what is it, sketch option, and you can make the change. So I'm going to delete this and move on to the next option of swept blend. So what we saw now so far is sweep. So the next feature that we're going to explain is swept blend. Swept is like the past tense, or the say the other version of sweep. Swept it is, and blend is going to happen. So I'll tell you what this blend is. Blending is like mixing two different features or characteristics. Anything could be blended on those lines. So here, what we are going to blend, we will see now. So as usual, I choose a plane, and then I have to create a sketch, and then I use the sketch view. So what I'm going to draw is a line. So on the line, I'm going to draw. I've completed the sketch. I've drawn the line. So sketch is done. So I press the tick mark, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the sketch swept blend option. I'm going to click it. So what happens after I click it is I get some options like these. These tabs appear. So I'm going to choose the second tab. So once I click a second tab, something drops down. So I'll be getting options like this. So in this, what I'm going to do is I have to create two sections. So for the SweepBlend, for the sweep option, only one section I created because the dimension is going to be uniform throughout. So here there can be blending happening here. So I have to create two sections here. So the first section, the red color dot represented, I'm going to choose that and click this option called sketch. So once I click the sketch option appears. So where I'm going to draw, I am drawing it on the plane. So I'm taking a circle and putting it on the point on which I wish to create the circle. So what happens now is I'm choosing the second section. So section 2 was added, and in that I click the sketch again. So in the sketch option, I'm going to pick one more circle, and I'm going to draw a bigger cell this time. So bigger in dimension. So once I'm done with it, I press the tick mark, and I get a blended output. So a larger circle to a smaller circle. This could be a nozzle of varying diameter. So, but you can see an error here. So what is the error? The center line that I drew, the line which I drew, the first thing that I drew, the straight line is here, the blue color line, but the sketch is formed somewhere else, misaligned sketch. The blend has happened at a different point because I chose the center point of this circle, this section, away from the point, the end point of the line. So that was a judgmental error that I made. So because of which I've got a skewed nozzle. So what I'm going to do, say I can make a change in the sketch, or I can make change in the revolve option, not the revolve, swept blend option, and remove this sketch and move it here. Or many ways are there. You can decide whichever way you wish to. So what I'm going to do is the simplest way, or this way is also the way I want to demonstrate. So I'm just showing you how skewed it is. So once done, you just put the tick mark, and if this is what you wanted, you get satisfied with it. No, I am not satisfied. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit it. So how I'm going to edit it? So I can go for that particular section. So whichever I wanted to remove, I can remove the first section which I made first, or I can remove both and start afresh. So let the straight line be there. I can say remove this circle and this circle, and I'm going to redraw those two circles anew. So I'm just removing it by clicking this option, section I click and then remove. So both the circles are gone. So I'm going to add a new section. So take the circle, here is the line. I'm drawing the circle here at one point. So, and add the second circle section. So choose the line and draw it at the second endpoint, a larger circle. So once that is done, so I get a complete frustum that shape that I desire, or a nozzle, however you wish to. So you can make a shell out of it, or say it could be a solid feature also. You can decide how you wish to manipulate. So I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to start afresh. So what I'm going to do is, the first section is a rectangle that I want to make, and blend it into a circle on the other side. So is this possible? Yes. So in the rectangle button, if I press it, I get some four options, four different rectangles, of which I'm going to choose the center based rectangle. So center based rectangle is like, so this will be the center over which a rectangle can be made. So all those options, corner rectangle and all those other options are there. You can give it a try. So this is the point in which I have to create the rectangle. Yes, I rotated and clarified whether I've drawn it at the center. And then the second section will be chosen from here. I think the video got a little stuck. So the second section I chose, and the circle is added here. So what I'm trying to do is, first you try, say, without the steps that are going to follow. What I'm going to explain, leave those steps. Just make the circle, make the square, and put the blend. So if you put the tick mark, try blending it. It will say, I cannot, because this is a square or a rectangle which has got four corners, four vertices, for this circle, there is no vertex as it is, only at the center. So what it will do, it cannot blend. It will say I cannot. So what you have to do is divide this circle into four different segments, or at least create 4 points on the circle. So that could be done by choosing the option here. So under the sketch umbrella. So that is what is done here. I'll just go back and run the video for you to see where it is chosen. From here is the divide option. So choosing the divide option, I'm just circle, and then choosing the divide option, I'm just clicking on the circle at 4 different points, and the circle is divided into 4 different parts. And then now I put the tick button, so it just creates a blend between a circle and a square or a rectangular feature. So so this you can always think how to utilize for your own model that you're going to create. So I'm just deleting this and moving on to the next option. I'm taking a spline and choosing the sketch plane, so that I can draw the spline. And what I'm going to do is create 2 different sections on the end of the spline, and we'll follow the same procedure and see what is the output. So here's the spline that and I'm going to create the plane, a rectangle here and a circle here. So I think the video is like a little slower. Kindly understand, say nothing else I did. Whatever I followed in the, I'm just going to follow here. So all I have to do is like create a feature here, which is a rectangle, and create a feature here, which is a circle. So once that is done, I just press the tick mark, and once the tick mark is done, I get the swept blend option at the end of it. Hope at least the final output I'm able to show you. I should be able to show you. And then I'm going to play it again. Let us see if it pops out. Yeah, okay. So here is the circular side and here is the rectangular side. So any particular shape that you wish to have, you can have. So such kind of combination can be used for where there could be a huge diameter pipe, and your pipe comes from one. The fluid from here falls into the larger pipe and it gets drained into the sea. So there you can have different cross sections of pipeline acting inside. So I think the idea of creating different cross sections which cannot be so Hope you guys enjoyed the session. Any doubts that you have on these videos, we can always discuss in the online lab session. Mail us and get it clarified. Yeah, thanks. Goodbye.